Hi, Doc. This is Dr. Matthew Loop here. Welcome to the Instagram Advertising Masterclass for Chiropractors, subtitled How to Flip a Switch and Harness the World's #1 photo sharing network to attract more visibility, traffic, and new patients. You're going to find this presentation extremely insightful, very valuable, so please turn your cell phone off, get rid of all distractions, and move somewhere quiet. Stick with me for the next 50 minutes, an hour or so, and I can promise you're going to see the big picture and see where the puck is moving. A lot has changed over the last 6 months on social media, and if you've mildly been paying attention, you understand what's happening, the mass shakeup, the migration happening to Instagram. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but I just wanted to share with you right now, you are in the right place at the right time. If we're not connected, make sure we connect on Instagram at Matthew Loop. You can follow me there. Typically, what I do is post new content, trainings, updates, things that will help you get you closer to the result you want to generate. Whether that's more new patients through your door, more impact, more influence, more traffic to your website, greater practice/brand awareness. I'm helping docs successfully do this all the time, so make sure we stay connected, and you can always ask me any questions. I'm here for you, so don't be a stranger. Before we go any further, I'd like to invite you to download my free Facebook marketing cheat sheet. Facebook is still highly relevant in today's economy. They're not going anywhere. In fact, they own Instagram. So you need to understand how to master and milk this network for all it's worth. There's still tremendous opportunity for chiropractors. This is a 22-page cheat sheet. If you go to dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet, enter your name and email, just tell me where to send it, and you'll learn what strategies the world's highest paid doctors are using to grow their practices with Facebook. You'll find that very valuable. Now, the goal of today is a couple things. One, to share the best practices on Instagram advertising. There are a lot of doctors that are dabbling, but the reality is if you dabble, you're never going to receive and get the results that you want. You're going to throw stuff in the wall. Maybe something will stick, but I'm going to share with you some of the best practices so you can walk away and implement immediately, have successful campaigns, grab the attention of your audience, and of course, move them into action. I'm going to share with you how to make a bigger impact. We're doctors. We want to create a huge impact in the world. There's nothing that I would love to see more than chiropractic commercials running on TV 24/7, where everyone understanding the big idea and how they should choose chiropractic before they would go to any invasive doctor, specialists, etc. So we have a lot of work to do, but the goal is a big impact. Evolution. We want to evolve our practices into the modern era. Listen, 20 years ago, if you were in the yellow pages, that was great. If you weren't, people looked at you as suspect, out of date and out of touch, because that's what every business owner was doing. The same thing is happening today. If you don't have an overwhelming presence on Instagram, Facebook, and all these other social media platforms, and you have to learn how to do it right. So evolution is a big deal. More new patients. Of course, we want to help more people. That's one of the main goals of presentations like this. So you're going to learn how to attract more new patients that are qualified, that actually want what you have with Instagram. Real quick, let me provide some background because I realize that some of you might not know a thing about me, who I am. My name is Matthew Loop, and I've been helping chiropractors for about 12 years now. Roughly around that time. I was way back in the MySpace days, graduated from chiropractic school 2004, and all I wanted to do was help people just like you maybe when you got out of school. But I realized very early on, with over $130,000 in student loan debt, credit cards maxed, and $1,000 in bills due the following week, that I was just in a very bad position. I was a great chiropractor, but for some odd reason, I wasn't generating enough referrals in my office, and I was very naive. You'd submit an insurance check and not get reimbursed for 2 to 3 months later. This is something that I never learned in school. So I went through some hard knocks. It got to a point in one situation where it was so bad, my ex-girlfriend's father had to float me a $2,000 check just to help me along to pay the bills. And I was at a very low point. That's when I basically said to myself, I don't want to be in this position again. I got to figure this stuff out. I'm a great doctor, but there's a disconnect. Then I started to read books by Robert Cialdini, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, or E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and it opened my eyes to something just completely that I had never experienced. I understood why people made the buying decisions that they made. And right around that time is when a little social network called MySpace stepped in. If you remember MySpace, just type in the chat box, yes. It's amazing, but I've been doing this a long time. I've helped over 8,100 chiropractors that are just social media elite and coaching clients, and another almost 20,000 have went through my free cheat sheets, have seen my videos online, etc. So I'm very grateful to have worked with docs in over 25 countries. In the entrepreneurial space, I have millions and millions of people that have seen my content. So I'm not some fly-by-night, Johnny-come-lately like you see all the time in your Facebook newsfeed. This is a picture when I actually spoke at Harvard, so I know a thing or two about helping chiropractors and other businesses grow very quickly using social media. Social Media Made Me Rich is my international bestseller, and I highly recommend it. It's a great Bible for social media. Lots of great strategies that help you grow. It should be on every chiropractor's bookshelf. This book was featured on Forbes and major media outlets and such. But throughout that time, I've been very fortunate to just have a very blessed life. This is my family, my wife, Tadser, my boys, Ethan and Sebastian. They're the reason why I'm so committed and why I do what I do. This is me fulfilling a childhood dream after 25 years. Finally happened several years ago when I bought my first Ferrari. And I say this to inspire you more so than anything else. I have a great video on how this process went, and I've just been able to live a very blessed life because of how I've used social media to help other people, and you can certainly do the same. I speak all around the world in regards to these topics. Many of the most famous chiropractic conferences and seminars that you've seen, and I'm very blessed to be able to travel a lot with the family. This is me at Harvard with Suzanne Summers. I got to interview her. She's a huge natural health advocate. When you dial in social media a certain way, even in your local community, you're able to connect with influencers, people that are really, really well known that can help you spread the message of chiropractic very, very quickly. This is Usher at one of his concerts, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, which is a great business show for doctors. If you get a chance, you definitely want to check it out. And he's actually a really nice guy when you're not trying to take his money. So let's move into it. Give you a little bit of background about me. Instagram is the place to be right now. It has almost 1 billion users every single month on the network. That's billion with a B. Over 95 million photos are shared each day. 32% of all internet users are on Instagram. Over 65% of all businesses in the US are on Instagram. So this is perfect for us. Instagram's brand engagement rate is the highest of any social platform. So what that means is if you post something, typically you'll see more likes and comments than you would on Facebook. Some more stats of interest. 59% of internet users between the ages of 18 and 29 use Instagram, and 33% of internet users between the ages of 30 and 49 use Instagram. 68% of Instagram users are female, so this fits perfectly within the chiropractic demographic. 41% of Instagram users report following brands to get perks and giveaways. If you've been paying attention over the last 6 months to a year, you've seen a migration occur from Facebook to Instagram. Now, I certainly don't want to diminish Facebook's power because there's still over 1 billion users on the network, and I have clients every single day that email me about amazing results that they're getting with Facebook. But I will tell you, people are getting sick and tired of Facebook in a certain way. Now, one reason is, you've got this younger generation that comes on to any network, and then once their parents start to get on, it's not cool anymore. Like my 62-year-old mom finally joined Facebook, which I love. I love it. But I realize a lot of people, they don't want to be on the same social network with their parents. It's childish, I know, but that's what happens. Now, number two is people are starting to see many more ads in their newsfeed, and they don't necessarily like it. People will tolerate some advertising on Facebook, but it's just a lot right now. So that's one of the things that's starting to irritate many users of this network. And, sometimes we get shiny object syndrome. We yearn for new things. So with that said, there is a migration going on, and the perfect time to capitalize on Instagram is today. We want to follow where the puck is moving. So this is happening whether you like it or not. Now, Facebook owns Instagram, so they're going to definitely keep that stranglehold on the social networking side of things. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, but just realize that this is happening. I consider, I would say, Instagram, I always call it Facebook without the whining, because you don't have to worry about any political commentaries typically, or whining, or people spewing nonsense. I mean, there are it's a different angle, but it's a lot less. So again, people are trying to get away from all the political BS. Here's what Instagram looks like if you're totally new. Now, this was a screenshot taken from my mobile phone. You can see here it shows my number of followers, who I'm following, a small bio about me, profile picture, quick shot of the Instagram TV, which I just created some more tutorials about in Social Media Elite, testimonials, and then I have another story up here. So this is just how it looks. Home, you can search, you can add a photo or video, check out who's liked your posts, and then of course, see your profile. This is a sample Instagram post. Now, I just created something real quick from stage. If you don't proactively teach your market what to think about your brand, they will think something else, and it probably won't be what you want. That's a very true statement. You can see here that I can also check out my insights. If I want to, I can promote this, and you can see who commented on the post, who liked it, and of course who messaged it, etc. This is another example. Have you ever met a hater doing better than you? Me neither. Love that one. 68 likes, and then of course there's a description down here. So very, very simple as opposed to other social networks. It's another reason why I love Instagram. Why should you create an Instagram ad or promotion though? Well, to get your message out to the masses and your content seen. That's number one. Facebook is filtering status updates. So is Instagram. Now, Instagram is not as bad yet, but you can certainly be rest assured it's coming. So not everyone sees. If you have 1,000 fans on your Instagram profile, maybe 7 to 10% of those may see any given update that you post or image or video. Think about that. A lot of doctors still are under this delusion that many people see their posts, which they don't. So we have to create promotions. We have to boost our posts. We have to create ads to get our content seen. There is the newsfeed filter just like on Facebook. Without Instagram advertising, you will remain obscure. So you can post till the cows come home. You can hire a posting service to do the same thing. But if you don't put some dollars behind your posts, then no one is going to know who you are. That's the reality. Types of Instagram ads. You've got photos and you have videos. Your videos are typically under 1 minute. That's the maximum on Instagram, unless you upload videos to IGTV, which for most people, the maximum is 10 minutes. Unless you have a very larger account, then it's an hour. But 1 minute is the maximum in terms of ads. Your photos as well. You can actually do the photos. So what should you post? Well, you can post general health tips, certainly, about chiropractic educational content, direct response offers. You can certainly have those. Adjustment videos, if done right. Most are not done right. Most are sensationalized and not explained at all. So you have to do those in a correct fashion. Research. You can post chiropractic-related research, medical-related research about the brain, the nervous system, spinal hygiene-related stuff. Retargeting, meaning that here's what you can do. You can actually come around and target people that have viewed your Instagram content before. It's kind of like you're able to keep in touch with them. So somebody clicks and watches a video or goes to your profile, well, we can show them another piece of content or a testimonial or a direct response ad. We have that capability with Instagram. We can run contests to stimulate engagement. In fact, I just ran a contest on my profile and I have over 400 comments, which is fantastic. The more comments you get on Instagram, guess what? The more newsfeed visibility you receive. Testimonials or personal stories. These can work really well in terms of posts on Instagram because they get people to bond with you. It builds social proof, and your personal stories, if they're done right, they can establish a very strong, deeper connection. You can promote workshops, dinner talks, or lunch and learns using Instagram advertising or posting on the network. Demonstration style videos. Maybe you have a quick video on how to rake the leaves in your yard without herniating a disc. That's a valuable piece of information that the average person in their home could benefit from. Here's an example of research, just posting something on Instagram. A 2-year study conducted by the Italian government followed 17,000 patients. The dramatic results showed that patients under chiropractic care had their hospitalization for back ailments reduced by 87.6% and work lost by 75.5%. That's really cool. So you can educate your audience with this content. Here's another great example of an Instagram post. Ever heard of a back transplant? We haven't either. Since you only have one spine, take care of it daily. A nice image to depict that. These images are from our chiropractic graphics packages. Here's another one. Should medical doctors wear uniforms to identify their sponsors and who they receive kickbacks from? I will tell you though, when you go to promote something on Instagram, they have the same 20% text rule that Facebook does. So if you promote a piece of content, well, you want to make sure that it's under 20% of the total of the entire image. And we use this text overlay tool to figure this out. So if you go to facebook.com/ads/tools, text_overlay, or just type in on Google text overlay tool, you will pull this up so you can run any image through it that, listen, if you have over 20% text in your image, Instagram may approve it, but you're going to get less distribution in the newsfeed. What does that mean? It means you get less bang for your buck. Facebook charges you and you don't reach who you would normally reach in the quantity. So make sure you run all images that you promote through this text overlay tool. That's a big deal, and that will save you a lot of money. How do you create Instagram ads? Well, there are 2 ways. You can boost a current post on your mobile phone via the Instagram app. This is an example. So, one of the posts that I shared on Instagram recently says, next week you will wish you started today. The window of opportunity is shrinking fast. Don't you think you've procrastinated long enough? And then I sign off at Matthew Loop, social media revenue strategist, author, and speaker. Now, all I can do if I wanted to promote this post on Instagram is I would just tap promote. Then it would bring me to a screen like this. What's your motivation? Profile visits, website traffic, or promotion views? And for the sake of this, I'll select website traffic. Select your target audience. Is it automatic? Instagram's going to target people like your followers. Are you going to target people locally in your city? Because you can do that by creating a custom audience right here, or people that are fans of your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or people that are fans of another person or a competing practices page. You can do many cool things with the target audience. Then the next screen will say something like, your total spend is whatever you set it to, $12 per day, over $12 over one day. Very easy to set. This shows you your estimated reach. And then the last screen, before you tap create promotion, it shows you just a summary of the ad. Website traffic, the destination, learn more. Functional Medicine Institute would be my audience, just as an example for this presentation. And budget and duration, tap create promotion, and you are done. This takes maybe a minute maximum, not even that. So Instagram is actually not too difficult when you boost a post. So there's no reason why you can't do that today. The second option to create an Instagram ad is to go to your Facebook Ads Manager and create a new ad. And this is a more powerful strategy because we can dial in the targeting that much better, and there's so many more options in Facebook's Ads Manager about how to do this. And I have video tutorials in Social Media Elite that show you how to do this the exact right way, so you get it right the first time. But essentially, you'll see a screen like this once you create an ad, and then from here, you can select pretty much any of these you want, but for this example, we're going to select traffic. And then on that next screen, down below, you're going to see a placement section somewhere. And on the placement section, you're going to click Edit Placements. Then from there, you're going to turn off, uncheck Facebook, Audience Network, Messenger, and then just leave Instagram checked. Pretty simple. From there, you can put whatever you want in the text box, have your own call to action button, and have your website URL. So are you going to drive them to your website, to a workshop, to a landing page? Where are you going to drive the traffic? And then Instagram shows you what it looks like, a preview in the Instagram feed. How cool is this, right? There you go. That's just one example. And this was an example of the contest that I recently did. It had the image and then it had a headline up here. You can see that your text appears right below. So the first couple sentences are really important to grab attention. Now this is how it looks in Instagram stories. You can see here, and then your headline, the image, and then how it looks in Instagram stories. Structuring your ads for maximum impact. The image must be compelling and it has to stand out in the newsfeed like I've always taught on Facebook. Your image should be something that the person doesn't see every day. So think about that. I mean, it could be a family image, it could be an anatomical image, but you want to grab attention in the newsfeed so they take a second look. That's the whole purpose, is to get attention with that image. The headline. Now on Instagram, unlike Facebook, there is no headline section in your ads. The headline should go directly on the image, and I'll show you what that looks like in 1 second. And it has to be compelling. You want to grab people by the throat with your headline. It should call out your audience. Text box. This is an important section because now this could be benefit rich or telling people what to do next, making them curious. So in this example I gave you, we can see here that the image is this whole thing, and then my headline in the image was "Want a free ring light kit," and then here's the Learn More button. But that's pretty simple, and here was the contest, how I described it. Now, a sample chiropractic related ad, let's say you're in your office and you're targeting neuromusculoskeletal conditions. People online, they typically search for solutions to their problems. So if you see patients in your office with back pain, well, this could be a sample. Back pain can be overwhelming. That would be your headline. I just have an image of an A to P x-ray here. Then you have a little text box. According to Harvard University, credible institution, back pain, blah, 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 blah. And then you could lead into what your offer may be, or if you wanted them to take any given action after that. Here's another example. Let's say you take care of pregnant moms. Feel better during pregnancy. You can have an image that stands out, bright colors, something that relates to your core audience, and then you can have some text over here to share some of the benefits and then your call to action. Here's some metrics to strive for when you use Instagram advertising. Now, this really depends on your objective, really. Is your objective to attract a new patient in your office? Is your objective to generate brand awareness for your practice, to get traffic to your website, to get registrations for your workshop? You need to know what your main goal is first. Cost per click wise, on Instagram, we're going to pay more than Facebook. If you can get the cost per click under $1.10, you're in the right direction. Sometimes we can get it a lot less, under 50 cents. But I will say that under $1.10 is definitely doable. Even if it's a little above that, it's at the end of the day, it depends on your return on investment. So if I spend $100 on Instagram ads and it brings me back in return a patient that is worth $300 in my office, well, that's a 3-to-1 ROI. And I'm using very conservative numbers here. 3-to-1 return on investment. I have clients that get over 20-to-1, 50-to-1 in some cases. So it's going to really, really depend. But anytime you can invest $1 and get 2 or 3 in return, hey, you're on the right track, and it stands to reason. If you measure it, you can improve it with some minor tweaks. Cost per engagement. Well, engagement could be a cost per click. It could be a cost per view or something. So this really, again, depends on your objective. So your cost per engagement, I would keep it right around the same, under $1.10 per engagement ideally. Your cost per video view on Instagram might be under 25 cents. That would be nice. Sometimes, again, we can get it a lot less. cost per conversion, workshop registrant, new patient, etc. So this at the very end of the day, what are you striving for? You need to know what return on investment you would like, what cost per conversion, because if you're trying to, let's say, generate a lead that has given you a name, phone number, and email, well, maybe $25 is reasonable, under $25 per lead. Maybe it's under $50, but if that one person turns into a patient that's worth $1,000, well, your return on investment could be 10 to 1 or greater. So just understand, have a clear idea of what you want. There's no such thing really as a bad investment on Instagram or Facebook. Now, we might not get a return immediately on some of this stuff, but you got to realize something. Are you playing the short game or are you playing the long game? I've been doing this for 12 years. I'm in it for the long haul. Aside from having that direct response in the short term, I've garnered this brand awareness, and many of my private clients, many social media elite clients have done the same thing. People have seen their face all over the place. They consistently put out goodwill in the community, and eventually they get recognized in the grocery store and the bank teller. They're just known in their community. That's one of the great things about it. For literally a 50th of what you'd spend on conventional media, radio, TV, or billboards, you can become famous in your market if you follow the steps that I teach. It's a proven way to really become well known for the right reasons. If you're just concerned about the short game, meaning that you're just trying to attract a patient now, listen, I understand you have a practice and you need to bring people in to keep the doors open. I get that. And many of my clients are doing numbers that are just crazy. But I will tell you right now, the short-term thinking needs to go in this profession. A lot of docs are just thinking for that quick buck, and unfortunately that's not good for you in the long term, the brand, the profession, the patient. So there are elegant ways to put your message in front of people that allow them to take action that ultimately still make you look really good in terms of your local community. But understand, we have to play the long game on this, and there is a time and place certainly to make it the direct response component, so where you bring people in now, but it's all on how it's done. Simple text graphics. This is a question that I get a lot from chiropractors. Now, I use a program called Canva. Very simple, easy to use program. You don't have to be a Photoshop whiz or tech whiz to get this to work for you. Canva, you can train a CA in your office to do this for you. In fact, this image, never sleep on your stomach. This position, twist your neck all night, can cause sprain, strain injuries, pulls vertebrae out of place, compresses nerves, and can contribute to headaches. This was created with Canva, so use this at your disposal. You don't have to pay somebody $5, $10 per image. You can bring that in-house and easily vary your images on Instagram on the fly for your advertising the same way. Here are some mistakes to avoid. I see a lot of chiropractors doing this. Using second-person language in your Instagram or Facebook promotions. This means if you're calling out somebody and saying, "Do you have back pain? Are you pregnant and do you have pain? Do you have fibromyalgia?" You can't do that. Facebook is very sensitive to this language. So we want to put things in the third person. Avoid back pain, as an example. Think about that when you craft your ads. Now, by chance, if you get one of these ads approved that has these mistakes in it, Facebook can come back and say, this is a flagrant foul. We're going to shut your advertising account down. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't use second-person language and or depict pain in your images, meaning that if you have somebody holding their back or if there's a red point around intervertebral disc, as an example, don't depict pain in the images, or else that's a major flag as well. Even if your promotion is approved, they could come back around and say, nope, it's declined and you're done. Before and after photos, whether it's chiropractic related with the curves, a straight cervical curve versus a normal lordosis. If you're doing weight management in your office, for example, before and after of those photos, that's a big no-no because Facebook now says you're making claims. Instagram remember, is owned by Facebook, but ultimately everything goes through Facebook in terms of compliance. So make sure that you're not using the before and after photos, and if you are, you've got to be very, again, you're doing that at your own risk. No clear goal. A lot of chiropractors, they don't really know what their end goal is on Instagram. Are you trying to generate awareness, bring people through your door, fill a talk? What is your clear goal? Like, what do you envision in 6 months, a year from now? You want to write that stuff down, because if you have a moving target or no goal, you're never going to hit it. Low quality photos. This is another big mistake. If you're going to post photos on Instagram, make sure that you're using stock images or images that are clear that you've taken from a camera or your phone. It has to be good quality, or else you're not going to get as much engagement either. Not proofreading. Don't put misspellings in there. Put your posts inside of a Word document. If you want, craft them there. Make it easy so you know if you're misspelling a word. That really looks unprofessional if people in the community see that it's grammatically incorrect or that you've misspelled something. No call to action. Listen, if you're promoting something on Instagram advertising, give a call to action. Tell people exactly what to do next, or they're never going to take the action you want them to take. So be very, very clear with what you want them to do next. Another mistake is not calling out your ideal audience. If you want to have the lowest cost per conversion, the lowest cost per click possible, and you want your ad to really resonate with your ideal market, well, the image has to be congruent, certainly, but you need to call them out directly. And I gave you examples of this earlier in this presentation. Inconsistent advertising. This is the kiss of death. And, if I had to say a big reason why, either I and many of my clients have become well known in the markets that we service, it's because of the consistency over and over and over. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So little by little, this snowball turns into an avalanche. And if you're consistent, you're going to really dial this stuff in. And I tell you what, in the next 1 to 3 years, many of these bigger brands like Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Nabisco, all these major players are going to start to realize that, oh my gosh, we're spending way too much money on television, radio, billboards, conventional media, and it's not producing like it used to. They're going to start shifting a large amount of their ad budgets into Instagram and Facebook advertising. When that happens, the cost per clicks are going to quadruple or more. I can guarantee you this. It's a done deal. I've been saying this for a long time, and it's already happened over the last year. If you've been paying attention, cost per clicks have dramatically increased, and we haven't seen anything yet. So inconsistency, you're wasting this window of opportunity that's happening. Don't put yourself in that position. Be consistent. Think of this as an investment. Now imagine if you would have implemented these Instagram strategies 6 months ago. How much more influence would you have built in your community? How much more traffic would you have to your website? How much more brand awareness would you have garnered? How many more new patients would you have had in your clinic because of it? Now, don't just bury your head in the sand. This is not going anywhere. Times are changing. We're seeing a big shift happening in the social media space. And you can either embrace it or you can get left behind. There's no in between. What type of doctor are you? Typically on these presentations, I will deal with chiropractors that have seen this information and they think it's great content, but they're really not going to do anything with it. I hope for your sake that's not you right now, because again, times are changing. And there's one of my favorite quotes by a gentleman named Eric Hoffer. He always says, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Don't be a laggard. Laggards never win in business or in life. So hopefully that's not anyone right now. Now the second type of doctor you might be, maybe you're already seeing a little bit of results with Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or other social media. And, it could be a trickle in of new patients here and there, 3 to 5 to maybe even 10 a month. But you know that there's a huge potential that you're not tapping into, and you really want to take this up to the master level, and you want to associate with somebody that's already been where you've been, encountered any obstacle you faced, and just has a proven blueprint. The third type of doctor you might be on this training right now, maybe you're doing fairly well with social media and you're attracting over 20 new patients per month. You've got some systems in place, they're rolling for you, but you know you're capable of a lot more because you've seen people that are doing over 40 new patients a month or just having amazing impact and results because of this. Now, regardless of what category you fall into, I'd like to introduce you to Social Media Elite. This is my flagship training that's instantly downloadable. There are over 60 video tutorials, so you get to look over my shoulder to make it dummy-proof so you get it right the first time. This was created by a chiropractor, myself, and it works for any type of chiropractic practice, whether you're straight chiropractic, personal injury, functional medicine, neurology, regardless of what practice you have. I've worked with every single type of niche specialty that you can think of over the last 12 years. I even have a 6-month money-back guarantee on this program because no doctor ever returns it. In fact, one new patient more than pays for the system many times over. So here's what you get in Social Media Elite. You'll learn Instagram marketing, the best practices with video tutorials, and I'll share with you the right way. There's a video that I just put in there right now. It's arguably the most effective Instagram strategy that is to date, and it revolves around geolocations, geo-targeting. So much power to get free traffic in front of the right audiences, and so very few chiropractors are doing this. That's one of the first tutorials you'll want to watch in there. And I also have a separate set of tutorials that deal with Instagram advertising where I give you sample ads that you can take and you can swipe. You'll learn about Facebook organic, the free stuff, the referral marketing strategies. Like I said before, the social network is still very powerful and you can do a lot to generate exposure, traffic, and awareness if you harness it correctly. A lot of doctors just post on Facebook and they think that that's actually marketing, when in reality it's not. I have a tutorial in there, for example, on how to get 5,000 fans in the next 30 days. That's one of my most popular trainings ever, but you'll learn, how to use that. And I also have tutorials in there about, how to harness Facebook's check-in feature or where to post and what to post, the best types of engaging content, lots of other cool stuff. Facebook ads marketing or Facebook advertising with sample ads to swipe. These tutorials have been responsible for doctors generating millions and millions of dollars and helping thousands and hundred thousands of patients collectively throughout all my clients. I mean, this is so powerful stuff because it, just like on Instagram, you can flip a switch, turn on traffic, and target your ideal audience. I don't care if you did screenings every day for a year. With Facebook advertising, you can flip a switch and reach that many people in a week. I want you to think about that. And now, I also break down the several different types of ads that you need to run to make things most effective. You're going to be blown away by what you find in that training. And the cool thing is you don't need to spend an arm and a leg to make it work. So I'll show you some hacks that you can save a lot of money and do things on the cheap. Google Maps, formerly Google Places, and now it's called Google My Business. You'll learn about the best ways to position your practice at the #1 ranking in the Google Maps listings. Those are the 3-pack of listings if you were to search Atlanta Chiropractor, where you see the reviews and whatnot. That one thing alone, if you dial it in, that could easily produce an extra 20 plus new patients per month if you're ranked really, really well and if you have the overwhelming majority of the feedback. I have scripts that you can model in the module number 3 of Social Media Elite. Search engine optimization, you'll learn the easy way to do this. SEO, as it's called, all that means is getting your website to the top of Google for any given keyword. So somebody searches Atlanta chiropractor or Atlanta scoliosis doctor, you'll know how to get yourself ranked to the top for those, for those terms. Pinterest for your practice. Pinterest is a great way to connect with other prospective patients in your community, and most of the network is female between the ages of 25 and 55, so it fits perfectly into the chiropractic demographic. It's a big image sharing network, very similar to Instagram. YouTube marketing. If I had to credit one medium with getting me well known in certain spaces, allowing others to know, like, and trust me, it's been video. YouTube is the largest video search engine online, and it's the second largest search engine only behind Google. People would rather go and type in on YouTube how to whatever it is, then go and read a 500-word article. So we can capitalize on this, number one, to get our video content ranked on the first page of Google for our local keywords, and two, to get a tremendous amount of exposure to build rapport with people. So I'm going to show you all those tricks and strategies for doing that like the world's most successful doctors do. Blog marketing. Blogging is your home online, so you got to have a blog, and I'll share with you some insights regarding that. Twitter marketing for doctors. Twitter is a real-time platform where you can learn how to harness that really conversation down to the second. I mean, I've got a tutorial in there that shows you how to find someone talking about headaches within the last 5 minutes on Twitter. It's pretty insane in your city. So if you understand that, I've had clients generate a new patient in the matter of a few minutes using that medium. You'll learn about outsourcing and leveraging. While I want you to get your hands dirty, because those doctors that are the most successful using social media have gotten their hands dirty, you don't need to always do everything yourself. I'm a big believer in delegation. However, so many doctors are getting scammed because they're delegating too early. They don't understand how to measure and track. So this prevents you from getting taken. I can't stress this enough. Every week I get multiple messages, emails, and doctors that contact me and say, hey, I went with this one Facebook advertising agency. I tried this. It didn't work. They took my money, blah, blah, blah. I hear this so often. And the biggest reason is because this doctor failed to understand how to measure and track. They didn't learn things on their own first. And I want to prevent you from having to go with that headache and having to get scammed out of your money. So that's what Social Media Elite allows you to do. It gives you a proven plan of action so you know how to leverage Facebook the right way, just as an example. And then you'll also learn, like if you like this presentation, for example, I give you a quick start manual and task list just to make things easy so you know what tasks you should be performing on a regular basis. I will say that once you open the Quick Start Manual, there's a lot of stuff in there. You're not going to take that all at once. This is just going to give you an overview of what we'll eventually be implementing, certainly, but don't let it overwhelm you. And you'll learn about Google+, but quite honestly, Google+ is on its way out, so we don't place much emphasis on that. And really, anything that's relevant to growing a practice using social media this year and beyond, I always put it in the course. So you're always going to have your finger on the pulse of what's new and what will grow your practice now before any other docs. Here's what Social Media Elite will do for you. Number one, it's going to give you strategy. This is what separates those that will attract an extra 2 to 5 new patients a month from the internet versus those that are doing over 40 new patients per month from social media. It's all in the strategy. A lot of doctors are doing Facebook, but very few are doing it in such a way that produces results, like massive results. The same thing with Instagram or YouTube or Google. Traffic. Many chiropractors will throw their websites under the bus much too soon. And while I agree that there are some websites and companies that do really, really bad work, sometimes we just need to get more traffic to our website to see how well it converts. Many doctors just don't get enough traffic. So Social Media Elite shows you the best ways to get local traffic to your website so you can actually see how well your website does the job at getting someone to pick up the phone and call. Social Media Elite shows you how to get top Google rankings for many keywords. That's one of the major benefits. Google is great, and if you know how to get top rankings, that's a consistent flow of passive new patients that you can receive. Just ask anyone that's ranked their MAPS listing at the very top, and they'll tell you it's very reliable at producing new patients every month. You'll learn how to become an unstoppable public relations machine that you couldn't turn off even if you wanted to. That's what Social Media Elite teaches you how to do. And you'll discover how to attract more new patients in a very elegant way that's not cheesy, that doesn't allow you to have to discount your rates in a silly fashion that demeans yourself or just like belittles the profession. I mean, there's ways to do things professionally, and I'm going to share with you all of those in this training. And you'll learn a set of skills that will pay you over and over for life. This is not like a one and done newspaper drop or postcard or radio advertisement. Let me be very clear. You create systems, and these systems will feed your office for years and years to come. It's a beautiful thing. Now, one of the excuses that I hear a lot from doctors is to say, well, I don't have the time to learn this stuff or get it implemented. but we all know that we prioritize what's most important to us. So a lot of people will say, well, hey, did you catch this last episode of Game of Thrones? No, I didn't, because I'm I'm working on building my brand, my practice, or what have you. So let's put things in perspective. Everyone has the time. It's just a matter of if you're going to make it a priority. Listen, 30 minutes a day is not a lot. Most doctors are on a computer that much anyway. I'm just going to show you how to turn that into productive time so you can actually create more new patients and growth in your practice very, very simply. I'm not a tech genius. That's another big thing that I hear. You don't have to be. This is not like biochemistry like what we had in school. Is social media new learning? Yes, it is. But is it rocket science? No, it's not. You just have to get your feet wet and have step-by-step guidance, and Social Media Elite gives you that. Professional guidance and mentorship. This is a big deal. This is why a lot of people want to work with me, because I've been there. I've encountered every obstacle you will face online. And rather than spending, 2 weeks or 2 months trying to figure something out, you can send a quick email to me and I can say, hey, boom, do this. Or you can post in our Facebook group and I can message you and say, oh yeah, do this, boom, and you are done. It helps to have a mentor in your corner always. This is from Jonathan in Ontario. He says, well, that low back video I made and showed you finally went up today. Today's the third day. I have only done a $5 a day budget, he's saying. 15,000 reach, 8,600 views, 34 likes, but 94 shares. And by the way, shares are the holy grail of traffic. So when you understand how to create content like I teach, you're going to get a lot of shares, which means a ton of free exposure. He says 2 people called in to book consults. You are you are one smart guy, Matthew Loop. I will be making a few videos this weekend for sure. So this is a great example of spending very, very minimal to attract a lot. Now his average new patient is worth over $1,500 to his office. Now, and I certainly don't promise anything to anyone, because I don't know your work ethic. I don't know if you're going to follow through and implement what I teach. Who knows? But I'm showing you examples of real doctors that have implemented this stuff and seen some phenomenal things. This is Dr. Ryan out of the United Kingdom. He says, we've been working with Dr. Loop for over 6 months, and he's taken us from complete novices to a situation where we can say we're far more empowered when it comes to online strategies. We've generated thousands of new clients and new relationships using his strategies, and the best part is that they are very doable and massively scalable, even for a tech dummy like me. Now, he has over 8 clinics over there in the United Kingdom. Honestly, we didn't have a clue when we started. He really did give us the tools, knowledge, and mentorship that we needed to get us to the next level in our marketing. That's a really cool testimonial. Dr. Ryan says, he says, also every day this week, somebody called for a new patient appointment from Facebook or YouTube. Unreal. That's now 9 in the last week and a half. Took a bit to get going, but I'm impressed. This just shows you an example of sometimes it doesn't happen tomorrow or next week or in a month. Sometimes there is a ramp-up period depending on how competitive your market is or how little you've done in the past, right? So you've got to be willing to stick with the process, because if you do it over and over in a certain way, eventually big things are going to happen. That's for sure. Without question, eventually big things are going to happen. But be committed to the process. This is one of my other clients, and he's out of a big city in the north here in the United States, and it took him over, this is not a typical scenario, but it took him around 10, 11 months for things to really, really pop. And when it did, it hit hard. So he sees all cash, and you can see here 7 to 10 new patients a week with a 2-week waiting list, over 31,000 in collections last month. That was for him just on social media, by the way. So that was a really inspiring text that I received. But understand that there can be a ramp-up time. For many doctors, though, it happens pretty quick. This is Dr. Andy. He says, hey, Matt, we're in the UK Chiropractors and Osteopathic Center. I have Social Media Elite from you a few years ago. Thank you. Getting 60 to 100 views per day. Average new patients in the clinic, 60 per month, about 40 per month from the internet. That's awesome. Dr. Ryan says, hey, Matt, first of all, a big thanks to all you've done for my practice since I bought Social Media Elite a couple years ago. Buying the program is the biggest factor in our growth. I literally do a handful of everything in the program and have seen awesome results. We've set new patient records and sometimes have a several-day waiting list for new patients This never used to happen. We now have a busy practice more than ever before. It's been awesome to not really worry about new patients and get to focus on get to focus energy in other areas of growth, life, and most of all, my wife and 3 daughters. Uh, at this time, I don't even know how we would handle the growth in the clinic if I did all of Social Media Elite. That's a really powerful thing. Little by little, get one strategy implemented, then you can certainly move on to the next and just stack and layer as you go. Alex says, hey Matthew, just wanted to reach out and say I love your stuff and really looking forward to seeing you here in the UK at the end of the month. Using just a handful of strategies in Social Media Elite and Social Media Made Me Rich, my practice has blown up over the past 3 years. For example, in the last 4 to 6 months, we've seen an average of 49 new patients a month, 70% from the internet, and going into the 4th year of business, we are moving into our 3rd premises as we have to keep scaling up. Started on my own, and now we are 10 to 12 strong, so just a massive high five. Powerful. Now, because of this webinar today, I want to make sure you have and you access the best tools and resources. So Social Media Elite normally retails for $597, but on this webinar, you're able to save $220, 37% off right now. And I'll also throw in $3,288 in fast action bonuses. One of those is a phone consultation with me personally. I realize your practice is different from the doc down the street, so I want to get on the phone with you and help you build momentum so you can hit the ground running and get on the fast track. I'm not going to shuttle you off to an assistant. You will speak with me directly. You'll also get access to our private Facebook group. This is, I attached a $997 value here, but the reality is it's priceless. There are so many great conversations in there. Doctors helping other doctors. There are over 1,200 members just in this group alone. You can search by threads and find some really powerful scripts, information about any topic you're looking for in practice growth. So really, really powerful group there. You'll also receive the 365 chiropractic graphics package. That's normally a $197 value, and I showed you many of those graphics throughout this presentation. So you're going to get that complimentary when you invest today. You'll also get free course upgrades for life, which is a $997 value. I'm not going to have a Social Media Elite 2.0. In fact, I had one of my clients the other day, he said, I've been with you for about, since you had your course on DVD format in 2007, and you've always given me complimentary upgrades. I really want to thank you for that. And it was just a cool, nice, touching email that he sent to me, but I'm not going to have some Social Media Elite 2.0. Once you're in, you are in, and that's my way of saying thank you for putting your trust in me, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you succeed and you apply this stuff. You'll also get unlimited email support. The same thing, you can email me now, 2 years from now, and I'm still going to reply and help you grow or answer your question. You'll also receive the 3-day New Patient Machine email sequence when you invest today. In this sequence, if you have a list of your inactives, you can even tweak this sequence to run a reactivation campaign with them. Or if you've got a email list of prospective new patients online that you built or offline from screenings or other events, this is perfect to send to them. Here's what to do next. If you like the idea of attracting an extra 40 plus new patients per month without spending any money on conventional advertising, I stress conventional like radio, TV, billboards and such, then click the big orange add to cart button one time. You'll get instant access to the trainings after you're in. Just complete that initial page that you see and you click the green button at the bottom of the checkout. Then on the next page, it will ask you to either pay with credit card or pay with PayPal. Once you do that, expect an email from one of my assistants. It might say congratulations on your investment. Check your junk and spam just in case you don't see it. And if let's say 30 minutes go by and you still don't have it, send an email to Anna at info@dcincome.com and she'll be able to forward the downloads to you. This is a great investment because it's going to pay for itself over and over, and you're going to learn a set of skills that will consistently generate, influence you, impact. It'll allow you to play much bigger, and you'll have consistent new patients because of it. Like I said, a little bit of work involved, but once you get these systems in place, I'm going to be in your corner. I'm going to guide you through that process just to make it easy for you. Now, I have a lot of chiropractors that consistently ask me about private coaching. Many of my clients start with Social Media Elite and they get the strategies implemented. But if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have a tough time just implementing on your own and you function better under accountability and handholding, and if you know, like I do personally, I know, listen, if I invest a large amount of money into something, I'm going to make it work. That's why I'm a huge believer in masterminds and private coaching because it's worked for me personally and it's worked with many of my clients. If you need somebody to hold your feet to the fire to make sure things get done and implemented, private coaching could be a great option for you. It's 12 sessions, the calls are recorded, and you can have as many team members as we want. If you're looking to scale to your next million, maybe you already have a super successful practice, but you want to really take it up, 2 or 3 notches to your next million, or grow your collections to whatever that is, I can definitely help you. If you go to socialmediamademerich.com/application, you can complete the application to see if we are a good fit. Just tell me about your practice, and it's a pretty, it's a 3-page questionnaire, so I want to get some really good details. But this is not for everyone. Most doctors will start with Social Media Elite, and that will get you and help you hit the ground running. I'm always here to support you. If you have any questions, certainly you can post them in the chat here on this webinar. You can find me on social media or Instagram at Matthew Loop. You can email me, but the goal is to keep you moving forward little by little, step by step, and eventually you're going to have the practice of your dreams, and that snowball will turn into an avalanche. It always happens like that. Let's do this together. You don't have to go at it alone. I've encountered any obstacle you'll face. Just click the orange button and then enter your details on the checkout. Let's get started, and then if you need any help from myself or my assistant, just let us know. I look forward to helping you thrive and prosper in this new economy. Hopefully you found some value out of this training. I will talk to you soon, guys. Ciao.